Then his brother, perhaps. Now there is a stout fellow by any measure, with guts enough to unleash a private army of assassins on me. He must feel he is bound to succeed one of these days, must he not, Cipi?" Franceschi Cipriani pursed his thin lips in an effort to contain a smile. There had been at least 30 failed attempts on Bonaparte's life over the past decade alone, all of them made at the instigation of the persistent Comte d'Artois. The last devil for hire had tossed a bomb at the Emperor's state carriage as it passed by, and had blown the vehicle 20 feet in the air, horses and all. Unfortunately for the erstwhile assassin, the blast had also taken off his legs. But he had lived long enough to be informed that the carriage had been empty, and Napoleon 50 miles away at the time. Of all the dour-faced men crowded around the door, Cipriani was the only one who could afford to smile. He was neither a soldier nor a courtier. He was dressed in gentleman's clothing now, but at the blink of an eye could appear in stinking rags with several days' growth of beard concealing the lean, pointed jaw. A master spy and deadly assassin in his own right, it was Franceschi Cipriani, who had discovered that the Allies had been planning to remove Napoleon from Elba to an even more remote location, and it had been Cipriani who had made arrangements for his emperor to escape the island and make his triumphant return to France. For 100 days, Napoleon had marched boldly across France at the head of an army loyal to the core, eager for revenge. Following the debacle at Waterloo 4 weeks ago, a battle that should have been won, he had been forced to ride by night down deserted streets and across windswept fields to the small port town of Rochefort, and from there to seek refuge on the tiny island of Aix, in the grim stone cottage overlooking the mouth of the bay. With the armies of 4 countries fast on his heels, he had nowhere left to run. Nothing but his anger and contempt to hide behind. Some of that contempt was directed now at another member of the stone-faced group. "You have remained remarkably quiet, my bold Seahawk. Have you nothing to say?" The man he was addressing stood half in the shadows. One broad shoulder leaned against the wall. He wore the elegant clothes of a gentleman, a fine woolen jacket with high moulded lapels, an embroidered silk waistcoat, worth a year's soldiering wage, and a muslin cravat so white and precisely pleated he might have recently come from an evening at the opera. He was easily the tallest man present, a full hand's width above Cipriani, which made him tower a head and half a shoulder above the stocky Bonaparte. His features were in shadow, but his smile was as white as his stock as he responded to the Emperor's question. "What would you have me say, Excellency? The Prussian army is a day behind you. The Swedes have the roads to the north blocked, the Spanish guard the south. They would want nothing better than to have you try to fight your way through, thereby removing the need for any puppet king to sign an order for execution." "Montalon, Lacaze?" Napoleon paused and tipped his head briefly toward the 2 men standing beside Bertrand. "Are convincing in their arguments that I should make for America. The colonials were our allies during their own war with England, and would not be hasty to comply with any demand to surrender me." "I agree it would be a wise choice, Excellency. But you still have to get there first." His eyes briefly reflected a glitter of candlelight. They were